is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 13, verses 1 to 8. Let brotherly love continue. Do not neglect hospitality, for through it some have unknowingly entertained angels. Be mindful of prisoners, as if sharing their imprisonment, and of the ill-treated as of yourselves. For you also are in the body. Let marriage be honored among all, and the marriage bed be kept undefiled. For God will judge the immoral and adulterers. Let your life be free from love of money, but be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never forsake you or abandon you. Thus we may say with confidence, the Lord is my helper, and I will not be afraid. What can anyone do to me? Remember your leaders who spoke the word of God to you. Consider the outcome of their way of life and imitate their faith. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Mark. King Herod heard about Jesus, for his fame had become widespread, and people were saying, John the Baptist has been raised from the dead. This is why mighty powers are at work in him. Others were saying, he is Elijah. Still others, he is a prophet like any of the prophets. But when Herod learned of it, he said, it is John whom I beheaded, and he has been raised up. Herod was the one who had John arrested and bound in prison, on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, whom he had married. John had said to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. Herodias harbored a grudge against him and wanted to kill him, but was unable to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be a righteous and holy man, and kept him in custody. When he heard him speak, he was very much perplexed, yet he liked to listen to him. Herodias had an opportunity one day when Herod, on his birthday, gave a banquet for his courtiers, his military officers, and the leading men of Galilee. His own daughter came in and performed a dance that delighted Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, ask of me whatever you wish, and I will grant it to you. He even so many things to her. I will grant you whatever you ask of me, even to half of my kingdom. She went out and said to her mother, what shall I ask for? Her mother replied, the head of John the Baptist. The girl hurried back to the king's presence and made her request. I want you to give me at once, on a platter, the head of John the Baptist. The king was deeply distressed, but because of his oaths and the guests, he did not wish to break his word to her. So he promptly dispatched an executioner with orders to bring back his head. He went off and beheaded him in the prison. He brought in the head on a platter and gave it to the girl. The girl, in turn, gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. The Gospel of the Lord.
My dear brothers and sisters, and my dear children, Jesus spoke about John. He said that John is the greatest man ever born of a woman. And in today's gospel, we find that John was beheaded. Why? he stood up for the basic requirement of the sixth commandment. Thou shalt not commit adultery. John was very straightforward, dear brothers and sisters. For soldiers, he said, no intimidation, no extortion, be content with your pay. And to the tax collectors, he said, exact no more than the appointed rate. And for his ordinary followers and for the ordinary people, he said, he was very reasonable. He said, if you have 2 tunics, just give one to somebody or someone. Just reflect, dear brothers and sisters, as we celebrate today the feast of Saint Agatha, a martyr. Just reflect today and see, as we read in the Gospel, the beheading of John, how many lives are killed today, are destroyed today? How many heads are being taken off today? There are the heads of the voiceless, the lives of the voiceless are being killed. No one knows. The dispossessed, the victims of war, the children, millions die due to malnutrition. The same thing that happens as it happened 2000 years ago. And then also the aborted ones, the voiceless, are being killed, about 700 a day. So many are killed, dear brothers and sisters, due to various reasons. By the powerful ones. The killing is done by the powerful ones. They wanted to safeguard their dignity. In order to safeguard their dignity, in order to maintain their economic powers, so many are killed and so many lives are being destroyed, dear brothers and sisters, today. May not be even killing, but at the same time, how many are starving today, dear brothers and sisters? As a Christian, as a Catholic, what courage do you and I have to protest against these injustices that take place? Are we silent? Or are we just lukewarm? Dear brothers and sisters, this is what we need to reflect, dear brothers and sisters. We have a great challenge before us with the things that are taking place in the world today, in the society today. We need to reflect. We need to take courage. We need the Spirit of the Lord, as the Spirit of the Lord directed John the Baptist to stay against injustice, that we too have a duty as Christians to be like John and to be like Jesus Christ. May the Spirit of the Lord be with you, and God bless you.